Primetime. That's the name.
Primetime.
Primetime.
What time is it? Showtime Primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
Let's get it rolling. XL Primetime on a beautiful Monday. 2 o'clock hour is hit. And 1010 XL just keeps right on trucking throughout the day. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Big Searcy, an extra long weekend for him. We're missing him today, but Maddie and I were ready to rock and roll. JJ's ready to rock and roll and talk about Augusta and Rory McIlroy finally completing golf's Grand Slam. We had spring football from over the weekend that we will definitely dive into. You got to tell us if you were there. Because it wasn't on television. It wasn't streaming. It wasn't necessarily must-see TV, at least according to the head coaches of a lot of SEC schools, because they weren't playing a game. It's just a new world that we're in college football. And one of the things that we will be talking about a bunch today, Matt, is what happened with old Nico. Will he go down in history as the first holdout in college football? Is that how we're going to remember him? I remember him as not showing up in the last game that he played and being a above average quarterback, but not a great quarterback.
He was probably the best thing they had on the field that day.
You're probably right. Tennessee did not show up.
The team didn't show up.
Yeah,
Right.
They did not show.
Yeah, this is. I'm actually writing this today at USA Today. This isn't going to end.
No,
you're going to see guys holding out before camp starts. You'll see them holding out week 1 of game week. The first week of the season. You'll see them holding out before the playoff. This is going to happen. So until you put in a regulation of some sort to stop it, and the best idea, obviously, is buyouts. Mm-hmm. You have buyouts in the deals that you have.
Yeah.
And because they can pass the legal muster. Whereas anything else you try and do, the quote-unquote fair market value, that's not going to work. That will not pass muster in court. But a buyout will, because buyouts are everywhere. Coaches have buyouts. Radio stars like Joe Cowart have buyouts. It happens all the time. So you can get away with that. I think that's the next step is, so if you have a stud quarterback, like if Joe Cowart goes to Florida and says, look, I'm not playing. He goes there week 1 and says, I'm not playing for you guys till you pay me more, or I'm going to go pay for whoever, okay? I'm going to go play for UCLA. And then Florida just says to Joe Cowart, well, go ahead and play for
take
UCLA.
a hike, pal.
That $8 million we invested in you, somebody's got to give it back to us.
Yeah,
and be that UCLA or be that Joe Cowart.
Okay, so that's the next question. And if you guys, a lot of you are college football fans. A lot of you still love your university and root for who you root for. But this NIL and transfer portal is probably driving a bit of you batty. So you can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. If you have a solution, if you don't know what we're talking about, if you want to jump in the conversation, whatever it is, do it. 641-1010. Let us know. But when you bring a kid in from high school, which is what Tennessee did with Nico Maliava, okay?
Wait, how did you say it this time?
Maliava. And
that was right, actually.
Yeah,
that's the correct pronunciation.
Yeah.
That's
so
impressive.
When they bring him in and they tell this dude, hey, you're going to be the face of Tennessee football. You are Rocky Top. And $8 million to the good is what we're prepared to give you. And when you walk on campus, you get this reported $350,000 signing bonus just to walk on campus. And then he didn't play the first year.
Until the bowl game.
Until the bowl game.
Right.
And the stinking kid was getting that much money. And then he goes through 1 year starting, and basically his parents or whomever, they go ahead and say, hey, by the way, before we play this bowl game, we're going to need to see more money. We're going to need to see more cash. And so this is what I described in the very beginning. I got killed for this. Unintended consequences of what's good in college football. Them getting paid is good, but this is not good.
Look, at the end of the day, you cannot have this type of money being thrown around. Billions, not millions, billions in TV revenue. You can't have millions upon millions from boosters at every school throwing money at high school players who have never even played college football.
Right.
You can't have that type of money being floated around and not think somebody's going to get in the kid's ear and say, hey, you deserve more than that, man. And I can guarantee you that's what happened.
Yeah, constant.
Some guy, some dolt somewhere got in Nico's ear and said, hey, they're only paying you $8 million, man. You're worth more than that. Carson Beck just got $4 million for a single-year deal at Miami. You're worth that too. Go get more. And he thought he could get more, so he played the game, and he had perfect leverage because now the transfer portal's opening in, 3 days? And he's right there at it. He can just tell them, look, either you give me more money or I'm going to the portal. Yeah. And they called his bluff.
Yeah. So let us know what you think about it, because I don't mind the idea at all of any of the kind of the fireworks for the players in terms of, hey, if I'm a star, I need to see some cheddar. But there has to be some way. Do you believe that $8 million, to go back what you said originally, that $8 million has to be paid back on some level?
There's got to be some kind of clawback. Okay, that's the only way it slows down.
All right, first off, he probably never got all of that.
No, he probably got 4 of it.
Yeah. You think he got
He's been
4?
there for 2 years, so he got 4 of it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So contractually,
which is another thing. So he played basically 1 full season and 1 bowl game for $4 million, and he wants more money.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts.
And he's an average quarterback. That's the worst part.
Right.
If this were a guy who was a Heisman candidate last year or a Heisman finalist, right? If he was like an elite player who had 38 touchdown passes and threw for 4,800 yards, then you're like, all right, I can see him wanting more money. This is just an average guy right now.
Yeah.
That I think was the biggest problem for a lot of people to wrap their minds around. This is a guy who's not half the player that Hendon Hooker was 4 years ago. Trying to basically hold Tennessee hostage.
Yeah, Hendon was spectacular until he got hurt towards the end. He was just such a fun player to watch. Didn't go as well as planned against Georgia in Athens for Hooker, but at the same time, Hendo 5 was some kind of fun.
Yeah, Hendo was real deal. Real deal, man. This is a guy who consistently missed, consistently missed deep balls. Yeah. Which is why they weren't the dangerous offense that they had been under Hooker, because he threw the third level throws so accurately.
And Josh Heupel, honestly, is one of the better play callers out there in college football, and he dialed up some wide open cats.
Oh, my gosh.
That Nico.
In the Georgia game alone, he missed 3.
Yeah.
3 legit that would have been touchdown passes.
Didn't see it, couldn't throw it type of stuff. And so it was bad all the way around. All right, so we got spring football. We need to get to Augusta, but we're going to sprinkle in the new star down in Gainesville. Did you see him? Well, you had to have been there to see him, because
it's the new Wilson, actually, is what it is.
And here's another superstar that was at one school, 5-star. Did he sign at Oregon?
No, he's committed.
He just committed. For some reason, I was thinking he signed and then had to be asked out, or had to ask out of the letter of intent. No?
I don't
no
think
signature?
So. I don't think so.
So anyway, he
might have. You might be right.
Yeah. He was bound. Let's just say for now, he was bound for Oregon, ends up not going there and comes to Gainesville, and he lights it up stat sheet-wise in the orange and blue game. So
he did sign initially.
He did sign and then was let out.
He was granted a release.
Okay, so let's just get into a handful of at least some things we saw in spring football that we will do today. And then we're going to get into some draft talk. But first, we got to start with Augusta. It was such great theater. Thank you, JJ.
Hello, friends.
Yeah.
Did you notice they didn't play it as much, or was I the only one thinking that? The music, I
felt like first thing that you have to know with the broadcast from CBS at Augusta is they will replay great shots from every angle. Okay?
They will.
You got to know that.
They will.
All right? And I'm telling you, it's clip, play, move camera. And it's great because you get to see a lot of really spectacular shots from a lot of different angles. And so that's their bread and butter deal. But I feel like they fired up the piano quite a bit.
Okay.
Now they did it with sponsors too. So that may have lulled you to sleep a little bit.
Right. Also, JJ, I mean, honestly, you don't really need the piano if you got the dulcet tones of Jimmy Nance.
Yeah.
Jim Nance was spectacular yesterday. Yeah. I was more like, I guess it was maybe at the top of the broadcast, or maybe like going into the first 10 minutes of the broadcast, and they started playing like a John Legend song that lasted like 5 minutes.
Yeah, don't do that.
And I'm like, this isn't the Masters, I know.
A John Legend song for the Masters?
He was playing a piano while they were like interviewing. It was being sentimental with the players and everything, and I'm just like, I just missed the Masters game.
Just give me mine.
Yeah.
And the one that we read the lyric to the other day, Mr. Dave Loggins. All right, so just honestly, on the face, This was one of the best major championships that I think we've seen in a lot of people's golfing lives. And not all of you are 100% golf fans. Some of you are just major championship fans. It really doesn't matter. But if you did watch it, just let us know. And where does it rank? Because it's up there, man. It had a heavyweight fight feel to it. When Bryson DeChambeau makes his putt across the green at 18, it was on.
Saturday. On Saturday. He stepped into the final round with the made putt at 18 on Saturday. That set up the heavyweight fight. It was PGA Tour star versus Live star. Right. It was major title holder from last year in Bryson DeChambeau, who also was top 10 at Augusta last year. He was everything we could have wanted, Joe, is what it was.
My gosh.
And Rory had previously lost in that PGA to Bright. Like, he choked in that PGA.
Well, the one that we'll remember more than anything else is him missing the putt at Pinehurst against Bryson. That was the U.S. Open.
Oh, yes, sorry. U.S. Open.
And so that was the worst. But he also did miss a putt at the PGA of Valhalla as well. And as a matter of fact, I have the script sheet of things he didn't do when you go back in time and look at, his opportunities. And I'll bring them up here in just a second. Well, here it is. Okay, near misses at St. Andrews in 1990. Where am I going? Near misses at St. Andrews in 2022. That's when Cameron Smith won it. He and Victor Hovland, I believe, had the lead. Rory had a chance to hold off Cam. He was not able to do that. Then you go to Los Angeles Country Club in 2023, and then you go to Pinehurst in 2024. We're talking about a lot of scar tissue, not to mention all the scar tissue since 2011 at Augusta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I had to remind people that I was watching it with. In 2011, Rory McIlroy had the lead, stepping on the 10 at the back nine, and shot an 80, and almost not to be heard from again at Augusta after that. That was 2011. Fresh face, freckles, curly hair, barely in his early 20s, and it's like a Jimmy Buffett song. A decade and a half nearly passed.
Right.
When they were showing those old pictures yesterday, my wife, who, only watches golf because I have it on the TV, so she didn't know anything before we met.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, my God, Rory.
Yeah.
It looks like a completely different person.
Yeah, it's so funny. And that's how much
I was like, he used to be a killer back then, too.
Yeah, he won a U.S. Open by 8 shots at Congressional, just walked away with it, destroyed others at Valhalla, where he had won before, but wasn't able to get it done this past time. Anyway, it was great on a number of different levels. So you guys let us know what you think. 641-1010. What do you put it up there against? Where does it rank? You now have back-to-back years of players/Masters champions with the same name.
Right.
That's impressive. Scotty winning here at Ponte Vedra and at Augusta, and Rory has done the same. And it took Rory 78 holes to win those 2 titles. 78.
The J.J. Spawn playoff.
Yeah. And so the gauntlet was 3 more holes here, an extra hole there. So let's get into that today. I want to get back to Nico and one of the texters, one of our prime timers, sending it in. Won't the university presidents and ADs have to set up foundational rules first and agree on them to pass muster with the course before we can get a little uniformity on paying these guys? Let's answer that question coming up, because what the texter is suggesting is actual rules, and we have none of them right now. So let's get into that coming up. Mocama Beer Company Monday. We love them. You can definitely check them out every day of the week for delicious coffee. Their tap room right there on South 8th Street as you are entering historic Fernandina. And then Wildlight location, also up in Nassau County. You can find them on the shelves at Total, ABC, and Publix. Make sure you get you some delicious Mocama beer.
Join the 1010XL Podcast Network.
Okay, excellent show, everyone.
Now you can find all your favorite 1010XL podcasts in your platform of choice.
Do you know someone looking for a fun and rewarding summer job? Join the YMCA team, gain valuable experience, and make a difference in kids' lives. Turn your passion for this community into a fulfilling career at the First Coast YMCA. Now hiring camp counselors, lifeguards, childcare leaders, and membership experience team. Every single person on the dedicated YMCA staff plays a role in making the Y a welcoming and vital resource for our community. Find your career at the Y at fcymca.org.
Equal opportunity employer. Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080. When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Spring is in the air. Time to wake up your lawn with Heroes Lawn Care. Say goodbye to pesky mosquitoes with their organic and spray treatments. Perfect for outdoor fun. Keep your lawn clean and fresh with their pet waste removal for homes and businesses. Heroes Lawn Care takes care of it all. From mowing, edging, fertilizer, to irrigation, and much more. Visit heroeslawncare.com.
Every morning that you wake up in a pest-free home is a good morning. And with Florida Pest Control's Pest-Free 365 Plus, you can. It's more than just a pest control or preventative maintenance plan. It's Florida Pest Control's promise that we'll be there providing pest-free living for your family all year long. To learn more about Pest-Free 365 Plus and to get your free quote, give us a call or visit flapest.com today and choose pest-free living with Florida Pest Control.
This is the Mangler. Years of playing football coupled with lifestyle left my feet mangled with neuropathy. I was experiencing burning, tingling, and numbness. I spoke with 2 foot specialists and they told me there was no cure. They were wrong. I found Dr. Nate Riddle in Ponte Vedra. After utilizing his neuropathy treatment for only 2 weeks, I noticed a difference in my feet. I was regaining my feeling and balance. If you want relief from nerve pain, call Dr. Nate for a free consultation at Riddle Wellness, 904-395-5598.
Go inside your home team's locker room with Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline.
Check out my blog at 1010XL.com.
So you can catch all the news and nuggets you need to know.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reese Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
Enhance your home with Renewal by Anderson's superior craftsmanship and timeless design. Right now, get $300 off all windows or $825 off patio doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months, but this offer expires April 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Offices in Jacksonville. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Hey gang, Prosser here, and it's always great when you can replace a problem with a promise. And let me get right down to it. When it comes to Chad and Sandy and selling your home, here's a promise that you can count on. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Now, more. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down. Activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though, and hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize hassle is the key. Those expert agents, and I'm recommending them to sell your home, Chad and Sandy Newman. There have been lots of you out there on the First Coast who are taking advantage. Take David and Heather in Fox Ridge. This is out in Orange Park. We wanted to move to Keystone Heights to get closer to family, away from the city. We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. What you hear is true. We got multiple offers and sold in 3 days for $15,000 above asking price. Call the local experts I trust and recommend to sell my home and yours. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200. ChadAndSandy.com.
ET here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, you have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits. You have the right to choose your own doctor, too. And I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation, the auto accident experts.
Jeff Prosser here for Lloyd's Heating and Air. Need a leader for commercial, retail, multifamily, or hospitality projects? Or top-tier residential service? No gimmicks, no mascots, just real expertise and hard work. As your trusted statewide mechanical partner and local family-owned team, Lloyd's is the name Northeast Florida counts on. Visit Lloyd'sHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air, keeping you comfortable in every season.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. The Weekend Rewind, brought to you by Cycles of Jacksonville, the big boy toy store for big boy toys.
What happened this weekend?
The Rays win series against the hopeless Braves.
Here is Junior Caminero with runners at second and third. And here is Caminero launching one. Left center field. On its way to the scoreboard. Gone! A three-run homer for Junior Caminero. And it's 8-3 Rays.
The Warriors drop into the play-in game.
It might be 4-on-5 offensively here. Here's Curry. Doubled. Fires to Peyton. Oh, underneath. Green open. Green. Missed the layup. Rebound Zubats. A huge miss by Draymond in point-blank range.
Rory finally gets his green jacket.
Look at the long shadows. Symbolic of this moment. The journey it's taken to get here. For all this history.
The long journey is over. McElroy has his masterpiece.
McElroy has his masterpiece. I don't care how long Jimmy worked on it. That was a masterpiece of a line. Love it, love it, love it. Rory winning, completing the Grand Slam. And you just heard the Weekend Rewind. Cycles of Jacksonville. They bring you fun for any week, weekend day, whatever it might be, on road, off road, on the water. Check it all out. They're on Atlantic near Regency. So if you had a lousy weekend, you need to go there and find some fun at Cycles of Jacksonville.
You like that line? See, I didn't like that line.
He has
it was great.
I'll tell you why. I think he needed to adjust to the moment.
It wasn't a masterpiece.
He missed a 3.5-foot putt, Joe.
Well, yeah.
That's number one. Number two, he's like crying on the green.
Yeah.
He's like bawling.
Yeah.
That's why I think Jim went into it. That was his line. Mm-hmm. That was Jerk Store, Seinfeld. Mm-hmm. That's his line. He's sticking with it.
Well,
Right?
I'm glad he didn't do what he did.
I think he needed to adjust a little bit, just a little.
Before the playoff, when Rory missed, and he literally didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
That
Good
was
idea.
his call.
It's an actual good idea. Just leave it alone. That looks sick. Just leave it alone.
It sucked for a radio producer trying to find it, though, to play it.
Yeah, it's funny, though, because he hit 2 drives, basically 340 yards, right almost in the exact same spot, and had 125 yards coming in. One was an absolute boob of a shot, and the other one was a dart. And one was a poor putt, maybe even a rushed putt, and the other one was steel. And so
he hit 2 of the best shots you'll ever see. The one to set up for eagle, which he actually missed the eagle putt.
Yeah.
But that shot was absolutely intense. After he just hit it in the water, I believe, the hole before. He was like,
I couldn't believe
up and
it.
down.
Yeah.
What a round for Rory. He double bogeyed 4 times in this tournament.
Well, it was 13 where he hit it into the water, and he chose to lay up. And people certainly second-guessing that one. He had 239 yards.
Up 3 at the time.
Yeah, that's certainly in Rory's wheelhouse. He decides to lay up and then hits basically a lazy shot. And obviously it lands in Rage Creek. The rest is history. He doubles that hole. 4 double bogeys. Think of this, people. 3 of the first 4 holes, there were 2-shot swings.
Did you think Bryson was going to run away with it after hole 3 when he had he went up 11-10, I think, and Rory had just bogeyed immediately.
Yeah. Well, you went double, par, and the other one went par, birdie. And so he fell back into a tie. Suddenly, 2 shots just evaporated just like that with a double, and then Bryson does make birdie at the par 5 second. Rory doesn't recover, and so Bryson's the top of the leaderboard. And you're like, oh my god, he just landed a body blow, and Rory's got to answer the bell, and he did, but he kind of re-energize
Bryson's
himself.
iron play was just terrible.
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. The shot
The whole
at 4,
week it wasn't any good.
Yeah.
You know?
But if you go back to Bryson's U.S. Open win, and what does the U.S. Open always demand of you? A straight
Irons.
driver?
Yeah.
He missed like 14 of 18 fairways at Pinehurst, and yet scrambled his way like a juvie to he just kept staying alive. And in this case, he could not. And so he hit it in the water a couple times on the back. Rory obviously did the chunk at 13, lost 2 shots there. But that shot at the par 3 fourth, and then the shot into 17, there were so many good ones that he pulled himself right back out. And I guess
Sandy on 18 to get it within 3.5 feet.
Yeah, it was.
What was the one where he had to hit it over those trees?
That was,
and he like smashed it, man.
Yeah.
And he was laughing. It was such an incredible shot. Like, I can't even believe I just did that.
So that was that 15 where he
maybe
yeah, because all right. So here's a texter was out there Saturday for the first time. One of the best days of my life. Seeing that eagle by Rory on 15 was so clutch and surreal. And so this one, the one that we're talking about, was yesterday, and he actually missed that putt, but he drives it, and it just tumbles down the hill, which brings those large pines into play, and then just rope-a-dopes it around the pines from whatever it was, 209 yards, something like that, to 5 feet, and missed the putt and tapped in for birdie. But it demanded so much of him, and just think of the exhaustion, the scar tissue, like we talked about before, to be able to handle that. And then let's give Justin Rose some credit here, people. One of the old men that when he first burst onto the golfing stage, he was 19 years of age, almost won an Open championship, and then disappeared for a decade.
Right,
and then became a world-class player, Olympian, major title holder, all of that. But it finished second at Augusta twice.
And has led 10 rounds.
Oh, yeah, the most.
The most out of anyone.
I mean, on
he's
Saturday,
never won.
He was missing putt after putt after putt. And they were like just off the cup every
and for
time.
him to come back yesterday?
Yeah.
Did he bogey 16 and birdied 17? No. He bogeyed 17 and birdied 18.
Yes, he had to birdie 18, and it was like a long putt on 18 to get to 11 under, and that really put Rory under pressure.
It was like a good 40-footer.
Justin Rose, my personal hero this weekend.
Yeah, believe me. All right, so let's just do that real quick for right now.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So I feel like I try and be a provider for JJ. I try and bring him.
We've reached the degen point of our show right now. Okay?
I try and bring him into my gambling flock from time to time, and don't think for a moment he hasn't done the same thing to me. But we share pools, basically,
right?
And we say, hey, jump in this pool, jump in that pool. It's this much matchsticks. This is anyway. Todd Golden's burner phone cashed a big old ticket this weekend.
First place.
It was just awesome.
And I want to thank Justin Rose. I want to thank Terrell Hatton.
Yep.
I want to thank Bryson.
Yep.
Or not Bryson, excuse me,
Reed.
Scheffler and Reed.
Yeah.
And Scheffler with just a great Sunday, which he didn't have to do that. That's what's great about Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
You think he's had a bad weekend, but he finished tied for 4th or something.
Yeah,
he's just spectacular.
No, he doesn't go away. He keeps grinding the whole
But
way.
yeah, mostly my hero this weekend, Justin freaking Rose. Yeah. And after Saturday, I really started to doubt you. Your putting game was so terrible. But to shoot like a 66 or whatever yesterday was just phenomenal, man.
That's the
just
guy
a
that
very
won it for you.
professional
Well,
performance.
the poll for you was Patrick Reed. That was the poll.
Yes.
Yeah, but Rose at the top. Though.
Yeah, Rose at the top. You can't beat that. And he finished really tied for first because the playoff doesn't even count.
And Patrick Reed was 4th or 3rd?
Maybe 3rd.
He holed out. I think he was.
Yeah, he's 3rd.
No, when he holed out on 17, I started making dinner reservations for tonight in celebration.
All right, so I want to hear from a couple of you guys. A couple of you have said that you were able to scalp tickets. Okay.
Told you.
And let's see here.
One guy says he's got pictures.
Yeah, he was able to sneak his phone in.
No, I don't believe that.
I do believe it. I think this is all like a myth you guys like to throw out there.
I'll report that guy right now.
Right. I want to know what in the front really is going on up there. If he was able to get in with a phone.
Yeah, that's not the Augusta I know.
Yeah, and by the way, there's a couple of you cats might want to just put Joe C in your storage locker and bring me with you next year because you guys, a couple of you guys went up there for the first time. You were able to get in. Give us, if you did scalp them, we're not talking paper tickets, right? Everything's got to be transferred, right? It's all digital.
There's no way they have paper tickets.
Yeah. I'm thinking as old school as Augusta is,
Maybe they do.
They might. But
that was my point. With if it's all digital, which I'm sure it is, it's easy to scalp a ticket.
Well, yeah, but all we were joking about was they're not people holding up.
Yeah, like old school. They're on the corner right outside of the
That's what we were joking about.
Whatever.
I said,
I don't know about that.
Acquisitions
I think
are
you guys
made.
would be surprised.
Like I said, I don't know. But
all right, this guy's saying he's just instigating. So,
All right, so
I hope I got pictures, snuck my phone in after scalping tickets by the front entrance. Yeah, he's lying to us.
Okay, all right, good.
Well, you almost really got Matt going, Texter. So thank you for calling out your own BS.
Yeah. He said, I got pictures, stuck my phone in, and then he definitely said, well, the jerk store called, and they're running out of you. So, all right.
Well,
I just want to know.
Favorite, so.
I just want to know if there's legit, if some of that stuff is going on. And then if you can't, just go ahead and throw me in the trunk and carry me up there.
Or just bring back a pimento cheese, which I actually had a pimento cheese sandwich for the first time this weekend in honor of the Masters, and it's delicious.
Yeah. TLD
Very
is such
simple.
a big pimento cheese gal. She had it too.
Are you an egg salad guy? Do you not like egg salad?
I like their pork sandwiches if I ever
The problem
got
with both is the mayo.
Yeah.
I don't mind the mayo, but sometimes people go a little heavy on the mayo.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then it's just,
I'm so anti-mayo, unfortunately.
You guys really hate mayonnaise.
Well, I don't hate it. It's just
Too much is too much.
Yeah, when you go a little
you.
heavy on it, that's a little too much. Yeah.
All right, so just answer this question real quick, and then we'll start to get back into some of the other storylines with Spring and Augusta. Let us know where this Masters ranks in your major portfolio of golfing memories. But the question was asked, can you get to a rules and regs situation? There are no rules, so I don't know how presidents – first off, the NIL, the presidents are supposed to be unattached to that. They can't have anything to, quote, say about it. It's not governed inside the university's athletic department.
Well,
but
it will be. In July 1, it will be, yeah.
But let's also make this clear. There's going to be pay for play inside the university's athletic department.
Yeah, July 1.
That will be governed.
Yeah.
But the NIL still necessarily.
There will also be private NIL where it's every man for himself. Yeah. Look, the only way you're going to officially govern this thing is the one way they don't want, and that's making them employees,
right?
Collectively bargaining and having contracts. They don't want that.
Yeah.
So they're going to try and do everything they can but that, and everything will fail. I think there's one thing that can work, though. I really do, and that's the buyouts. I think the buyouts will work. It's been proven in courts for any job, not just an athlete or a coach. You can have buyouts.
Yeah.
And I think that'll work. But the question then becomes is whoever's writing these NIL deals, like if you got a 5-star, let's just say, what's the kid's name? Dallas Wilson.
Dallas Wilson, okay? My new favorite player.
Right. So if you're writing an NIL deal for this kid, they had to offer him a lot of money to get him to flip that commitment from the signing from Oregon, right? So in that NIL deal has to be, if you leave X year, you owe X amount. If you leave this year, you owe this amount, right? I mean, that's
I would
fair,
love that.
right? But there will be kids who won't sign that, and they'll go to Texas A&M because Texas A&M will not have that thing in there, right? So there's got to be a majority of the people in this process thinking, all right, we have to have this stopgap in place.
In other words, people who are in charge need to have some stones and be willing to say no.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is a start. I think what happened with Yamalieva is a start.
Yeah. Because Josh Heupel said nobody's bigger than the team.
Right. Well, and I think there's a lot of coaches around thinking, all right, well, that's the first step.
Yeah. All right. Derek from Indiana says the Nico situation bad on both sides, but now is the chance for schools who are a quarterback away or a coach who is a bad season away from getting fired to save themselves. So this is the other half of it. This is the bad, where just because he gets run off doesn't mean someone else is going to jump in and offer him. And his question is, if boosters think he's worth 2 or 3 more wins, that could be a playoff. And so he's saying, hey, why wouldn't USC, Iowa, whomever go after Nico? And it's a fair question. It is. So
Iowa's spending money like that?
No.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And UCLA and I think USC maybe.
I think USC
makes the most sense.
I think USC makes the most sense. There's no doubt. USC or Colorado or even North Carolina. But would I be shocked if? And I'm not saying that it's coercion involved here, okay? Would I be shocked if the big schools kind of passed on him? No, I wouldn't. Because they're making a statement.
Yeah.
Then I would see someone like, I don't know, UNLV. I could see him going there.
And then next thing you know, now
for a year, then go in the NFL.
Another thing a college player is going to come up with. They're going to accuse schools of collusion.
Of course they are. Yes,
you gotta love it. You got to love it. It's XL Primetime, Mokama Beer Company, Monday.
Welcome to 1010XL.
Why is he in a plane?
I don't know. Well, don't just stand there, hop in.
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
We're giving away free AC inspections to our wonderful customers who now call and schedule. But you must act today. A deal this good won't last forever. Call 904-862-6769. DuckDuckAC.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
I'm just going to cut to the chase. What you really want to know is, why buy from Arlington Toyota? Mia here. How about over 800 vehicles, one lot, 60-day exchange, and friendly credit for everyone. Plus, right now, you choose a pre-owned 2022 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for $0 down and only $388 per month. Or how about no payments till August 2025? Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter-mile east of 295, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Pizza to tea here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes through in the clutch? From lunch to late night, only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Stick around after the sunset, and Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites. Come on, somebody.
When you're experiencing sudden, unexpected dental pain, the last thing you want to hear is that your dentist can't see you until next week. That's why I'm so glad I found Harbor Dental Care. Whenever I call, they always find a way to see me within 24 hours, and they can usually fix whatever's wrong the same day. Plus, they have locations throughout Jacksonville, so no matter what side of town I'm on, I can always count on the same great care. If you want to find a dentist who believes in treating people right, learn more at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked the homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Universal Roof and Contracting protects your home and your wallet. Invest in a stronger roof and save big. Right now, get 15% off roof replacement and repairs. Financing's available with monthly payments as low as $115. So this deal ends April 30th. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3.
Our dude is in the building. Denny Thompson, a little early for you. Coughlin time. He decided to make it today. Yeah. So we will talk all things quarterbacks with Denny Thompson. Denny, how you doing, bud?
Good, man. I didn't realize I was this early. Got a plane to catch, though, so I'm glad we're getting it.
Okay, that's good.
Heading to the metropolis of Starkville.
Oh, I didn't know you could actually land a plane in Starkville. This is true?
It's technically, I think, Columbus,
yeah.
Mississippi, right?
Columbus.
I think
you got a Greyhound. You got a Greyhound your way into Starkville.
It's close.
It's
close.
bad, man.
No, it's not bad.
Why you got to do that?
You can be in and out of that airport. Like if my flight leaves at 6 a.m., which they got 2 flights a day through Atlanta, get there 5:50.
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Walk in, hand the lady your bag. She checks you in. You're on the plane.
The airport, it's like a house.
Yeah, Stark Vegas. I
mean, like a house.
Because I care. Yeah.
Yeah, like a regular old Jack's Beach, like Florida house.
That's beautiful. That's like landing in the Bahamas, basically, is what it is.
Right. There's no indoor terminals.
Yeah.
No. You're getting off outside.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's awesome. All right, so let's talk quarterbacks, and we have to start with the very obvious discussion, which is Nico and what happened up in Knoxville. And forget about them naming a street after this dude. He is torched Rocky Top and left town. What do you think? And I call this unintended consequences, Denny. I love a world where players are getting recognized and compensated. Don't like a world where players are holding universities hostage and then hiking or tucking tail and leaving.
No, and I don't know a lot about the situation. I don't know anything more than anybody else does, but I will say this. I mean, what a black eye. Just the way the situation's handled. And I could get on here and legitimately defend why somebody would ask for more money. I could. But now it's not the time to do it.
We're going to ask you to do that.
Well, it's not the time to do it.
Yeah.
Because it was just handled poorly. And you don't do that. You don't do that to a school that's invested in you after spring football. Like that's not. I don't feel like that's the time or place.
Right,
now
if you're gonna ask. It's in January.
Yeah, it's December and January. Yeah, but even I'll take it even like a little bit further than that. Is I want to know the story because I don't think we have the whole story. I don't think Tennessee did anything wrong at all. But I don't know. Most guys that are in that situation probably don't. I think it's uncharacteristic to characterize this as like a lot of guys are going to leave in spring now. I don't think that's a thing. You know what I mean? If you're leaving in spring, it normally means that something, either you didn't get the tools that you need to be successful or something went wrong and you lost a job or something like that. This isn't something that's going to happen over and over again because these guys usually aren't built this way. I don't know what the circumstances behind Nico's were, but it would take a special set of circumstances to ever justify leaving a school after spring break.
Yeah, that move that he made, the whole process of doing it 3 or 4 days before the transfer portal opens, knowing that Tennessee doesn't have a quarterback behind him.
Right.
That is a middle finger move is what that is.
It is.
That is you give me money or middle finger is what that is.
Yeah.
So and I understand what
Nico.
you're saying. I totally understand what you're saying. But he clearly knew he had leverage. And he clearly knew his best way to get more money was to do it that way.
Yeah. No, and I know nothing about Nico. I just am hearing like, oh, college football's dead. It's ruined. I think this is. I don't think this is what is to come.
No,
it's a black eye.
It just needs to be tweaked. That's all.
It needs to be tweaked. I mean, we're heading into this portal period that's 10 days long.
Yeah. It starts tomorrow.
16th. Begins the 16th.
What are we doing?
Yeah. And you know what they're
Yeah, but you know what? Here's what, and I'm actually okay with it. And I'll tell you why. Because you're allowing players who competed for a job in the spring, they didn't get the job, or for whatever reason it didn't work out in the spring, you're allowing them to go. I don't mind it. I don't mind.
I understand that, but you tell me how this is supposed to happen. How do you? Because you're not supposed to talk about any of this before the portal opens, right? So I'm just going by the rules here,
right?
So somebody's got to explain to me how a kid one day says, "I'm going to make this life-changing decision." I'm not talking about Nico. I'm talking about everybody.
Yeah.
And then within 10 days, knows where they're going, took all the visits, did all the appropriate measures to get into school academically.
Yeah.
Negotiated a contract.
There's that, right?
No, he's just got to get in the portal. Once he's in it, he can take however long he wants till the season begins. He's just got to get in.
Bro, you got to do football at some point.
No, I know that. I know that. But my point is, it doesn't have to be rushed, I guess is my point.
Yeah, but here's the other part.
I mean, if I'm a college and I'm a quarterback, I want that guy there.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Especially going into summer, correct?
The December one gives you a little bit of time because it's a longer break and you're coming back after the season. Some teams are still playing.
Right.
Even in that case. But, most people don't start till January. Football don't start till January 20th or something.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So it gives you a little bit of time. Man, you get a little bit of time off in May.
Right.
But if you're a quarterback, man, you need to be on this campus learning this offense. And
yes. I don't disagree with that.
At the training table, in the weight room.
I'm just saying that I think it's very easy, and this is I think what your point was initially. It's very easy to say, "Oh my God, this is the end."
Right.
It's not the end.
It's not the end.
It's not. It's not. And coaches and ADs and presidents can say it's the end. It's not the end.
No, I'm not even
It's
suggesting
an avenue to figure out a solve. You just got to figure out a solve. That's all.
But here's the problem.
And I got the solve for it.
What is it?
It's the buyouts. The buyouts is the solve.
I would just like to see.
I'm just talking about a calendar, fellas. I ain't even talking about buyouts.
You don't want to hear about buyouts because you do the NIL deals.
No. Dead serious. I'm just talking about let's take the common sense stuff and not have guys having to make decisions about transferring during a Final Four or during spring football or during the college football playoff. We can get to all the other stuff at another time, but right now, that's low-hanging fruit, and it's stupid.
Okay, so as a guy who works with NIL deals and the whole transfer process, where would you put the transfer portal, and for how long would it be?
Well, I have two answers to that. One is I'm not paid to come up with that, so I haven't given it a ton of thought about when it would be. But that's a fair question if I'm a gripe about it. But I honestly, I do think that you need to have that December one. And I'm fine with this. Like, if you want to give college football a dead period, because a lot of people are taking 2 or 3 weeks off in May.
Right.
And if you want to make that a dead period where everybody's doing the same thing and everybody's coming back at that Memorial Day weekend, and that time is free game, then that's cool. I just don't know why we got to do it in the middle of a semester before finals. Again, there's college, right?
There's a whole idea of attending classes.
And they're in spring practice.
Yeah. And the other part of it is
But hang on, I'm sorry, Joe.
Yeah.
But their whole gripe for that will be, well, we're recruiting high school kids. We have to know.
I don't care because they're not recruiting high school kids. I'm here every day. Like,
no, I know.
Their high school recruiting.
They can't say they don't want to wait till May to see their roster be depleted by people leaving. You know what I mean? Because they're recruiting previously to try and set up their roster.
I get it, and this isn't even. I'm trying to be pro school, not pro player in this. I think the coaches would echo a lot of what I'm saying. Is like, don't make me have to make an adjustment. There's a lot of people who haven't played their spring game. There's a lot of people who have 2 weeks left, and the portal's open. Is it tomorrow?
2 days,
tomorrow.
16th.
Yeah. It's the 16th?
Yeah,
okay.
16th.
What's the harm in kicking that back 2 weeks?
And then the other thing is the December recruiting has now become the number one day or period of time where you're signing guys. So you're already putting pressure on high schoolers, like we're talking about, to get ready and maybe graduate early and go in January because that's better for the school.
Well, they're all doing that now.
Yeah, exactly. Every one of them is doing it. And then the other half of it is like you're saying, the seasons have now been extended to where if we're saying there are 135 Division I schools, let's just say, or FBS schools, however you want to describe it, there's still 12, soon to be 16 of the biggest schools where their season lasts another 6 weeks. And so to Matt's point, you have to open the portal at some point. because the season is over for a lot of.
Yeah. So are you don't want the portal open at all in December? You want it just
no.
I
recognize that there has to be some because to y'all's point, there's only 16 teams,
Right.
but there has to be some thought given to this beyond just hey, portal's open for 10 days.
Right.
Right.
I understand, and I get that it's not a simple solution, but we talk about the high school recruiting, and this is one of the things that's changed drastically with this portal. Is, man, they're not doing the recruiting they used to do in high school. Not even close. Not especially at quarterback. You got to be so good coming out of high school to get a major Division I legitimate offer. Because they can go, and some of this is working itself out with the 2020 COVID years, but they can go and get a 20-year-old kid who's still got 3 years of eligibility before they can go get your 17-year-old kid.
Right. You got to be Arch or DJ Lagway, basically.
You do. You got to be a high 4-star, low 5-star guy. I mean, there's a lot of what is it? I guess FBS or Group of 5 now. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of 4-star quarterbacks on those teams now.
Yeah.
But
that never used to happen.
Yeah. You have control levers if you're that type of high pedigree player.
You don't as a high school. Yeah. Very, 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 very few.
Yeah.
Very
elite
few.
of the elite.
The elite of the elite.
Well, just use Carson real quick as an example because he was going to the NFL, had an injury which was significant, which completely curbed his ability to basically perform on pro day and all that kind of stuff. And so he had to come back in. He still was in a control position.
Yeah, but we're talking about high school kids.
Yeah.
So I'm a high school kid now. I'm
Okay.
18 years old, and I'm going to this major university who tells me that I'm their priority. And I get there, and within a month, they've brought in 2 more transfer portal guys, one of which has 3 years of eligibility.
To his point, so this past recruiting season, there was probably one, Bryce Underwood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As far as
By the way, he was poached because of NIL.
Right. But his point is, he's the only guy who could say, they're going to say, we're signing you, you're going to play, and he doesn't have to worry about them recruiting over him.
Okay, that part I get.
Right. And I just, the other thing is traditionally, and I get that people don't like this, you graduate from the school you sign with. That's just not, it's not. It is not only greedy players, it's situations. It's free advice here. Systems and situations is what recruits kids. Mm-hmm. Like, coach can go, he can come and go, right? You can change your major.
But he's
you
part
can do
of
all
the
that.
situation.
Right, he is. But situation is like, what does that quarterback room look like? Am I going to be able to get on a field, or am I going way above my level here? Mm-hmm. And that situation is fluid now because they can go and bring in 2 transfer guys where a couple years ago, once you signed, you were kind of good.
You can use Quinn Ewers over Arch Manning. That was portal guy over recruit guy.
Yep.
Even though as herald as
everybody
Arch
has
was,
them. You could use it all the way down the line.
How about Will Howard over Julian Sand last year?
Yeah, another one.
Julian Sand went from Alabama to Ohio State because Nick.
Well, you
left.
brought Carson up.
And then Will
Carson
Howard.
signs. They bring in JT Daniels. Mm-hmm. They bring in the Wake Forest kid.
Right. Remember him?
Yeah.
That was the COVID year.
Yeah. They're supposed to be a first-round pick.
Right.
Jamie Newman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, and then the next year they sign a 5-star, and they're just doing their job.
Yeah.
They're trying to have the best football team ever. It is a tough business.
All right, we're going to keep talking quarterbacks. I got to work in an Augusta that, if you don't mind.
Yes.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, this is from Derek DiStefano. He is the proprietor of the Golf Club Southampton. That's all the vowels except you. And he brought it, okay? This is individual knowledge from one D-Steph. On the ticket front,
right?
No digital. All paper or plastic badges. Undercover police officers hide in parking lots waiting and make offers for your ticket. You have to display your credential at all times. So this is very important intel, but he does finish strong. Import beers, green cups. That's how you know it's an import beer. Master's cookies, classic chicken sandwich, and Master's Club sandwich on point as always.
Okay, I thought all the beers were in green cups, but now makes sense.
Yeah, import beer.
So the Augusta Police Department has decided that it's important for them to have undercover cops in the parking lot.
They get compensated well to run security for Augusta National. Trust us on that.
Who's watching the city during these?
Like I said, there are still transactions that are taking place. It's just not in the light of day.
This one tournament pays for that whole city to even exist.
Are you ready?
I heard about these people that rent out their houses.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
Dude, it just basically pays your whole mortgage.
Yeah, it's incredible what they do. So we'll throw some more numbers at you coming up. Denny Thompson, our quarterback whisperer, hanging out for one more seg. Mokama Beer Company Monday.
1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
All right, get out. Go on, get out.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Get out of here. Some rest, man.
Mornings on 1010XL.
What does your dream backyard look like? Hey, it's Joe C. and my friends at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can design an outdoor kitchen layout custom built to your taste and lifestyle. You dream it, they can build it. CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Visit cssoutdoor.com.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. There was a time if you handed me a bread basket at a restaurant, you better watch your fingers. Pizza, pasta, bread, carbs were absolutely my weakness. I'd be lying if I said they didn't have me hooked. Then Awaken 180 came into my life. I've been down every diet road there is, but this one is different. It's not just another diet. It's a total reset of how you see food. That carb craving we've all accepted as normal, that's gone for me now. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoy the good stuff, but here's the difference. I no longer feel like I need them. So when the server puts down that bread basket on the table, I just smile back and say, I'm good. That feeling of control, everyone, is all thanks to Awaken 180. Doesn't matter what your goal weight is, Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely. A clear path to success without disappointment. Hacker lost 110 pounds, blues on his way. I lost 40. You can get there too. Awaken 180 has changed everyone's life. It will change yours too. Give them a call, 844-346-1800, or go online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Gun charges, drug charges. I'm Attorney Malcolm Anthony, and I specialize in handling these types of felony cases. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
With so many competitive pest services in town, you might wonder why Kingfish Pest Control's business is booming while similar companies seem to be struggling. It all comes down to service, affordability, and effectiveness. Kingfish Pest Control is a local family-owned company who delivers on their promises to effectively control pests like ants, spiders, roaches, termites, mosquitoes, and more. Your home is their priority, so call today and discover why your neighbors and your buddy Hayes Carlion trust Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold and silver and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at almost $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
1010XL covers every angle of the draft.
That is what I do.
Listen for draft previews brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Big Brothers Big Sisters. Roll through the offseason with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
Got a cracked windshield? Not only is it dangerous, but did you know it's also illegal? Call Baker Glass. Mack and his crew use the best auto glass in the market, and they accept most insurance. Plus, all new windshields come with a full warranty. From cars to trucks to RVs, you can count on Baker Glass to be fast and friendly. Just check out their Google reviews. Come see us at the shop on Casta Avenue, or we can come to you at your home or business.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Your tax refund is here. Why not invest in your home? Superior Fence and Rail helps you build value with beautiful, durable fences that boost your home security, privacy, and curb appeal. With expert installation and financing options, turning your yard into an outdoor oasis is easier than ever. Reinvest in your home today with Superior Fence and Rail.
When you're on the fence, about the fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and there's so many cool products that are on the line at Cycles of Jacksonville. The showroom is Atlantic and Regency, and we're talking, Greg, you've got from any level of price point, the experienced rider to the inexperienced on-road, off-road.
We've got it. We've got ATVs. We've got motorcycles. We've got scooters. We even have the new Honda boats. We've got something for everyone.
Don't forget about the boat line from Honda. It's all right there, waiting for you. Atlantic and Regency or Cycles of Jacksonville's Facebook page.
Ackerman Cancer Center, celebrating 10 years of excellence in cancer screening, diagnosis, and treatment. Always accepting new patients and 99% of all insurances. Call now to schedule a new consultation within 48 hours. Learn more at ackermancancercenter.com.
Plumbing problem? AC acting up? Septic tank trouble? Don't waste time calling 3 different companies. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. We offer plumbing, septic, and air conditioning services. Call 904-862-6769.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. On Saturday, the Florida Gators held their annual Orange and Blue spring game as they followed the new college football trend of not televising the game in order to keep plays and schemes in-house. Team Blue defeated Team Orange 38-32 in a high-scoring affair that came with lots of offense. Going into the game, Coach Billy Napier announced DJ Lagway would not be throwing. However, Lagway did make an appearance in the game, handing the ball off, working on some running play reps. The 2 stars that stole the show at Saturday's matchup were freshman wide receiver Dallas Wilson and senior running back Jacoby Jackson. Wilson's first appearance in the Swamp was electric with 10 catches for 195 yards and 2 touchdowns, tying Trevon Grimes' spring game receiving record. Jacoby Jackson exploded for 198 yards and 3 touchdowns on just 10 carries. It's 83 degrees at 3:02. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mondays on XL Primetime. Brought to you by Mokama. Check out their great craft in the tap room in Fernandina Beach.
Every single day they're serving coffee. Tuesday through Sunday they're serving delicious craft. You can find Mokama right up there in beautiful Fernandina, South 8th Street. That's the big old 50s car dealership, an awesome tap room to hang out and just taste all the goodness that they are brewing up there. And then you've got the Wildlight location and then on the shelves at Publix, Total, ABC. Just check it out, Mokama Beer Company. Now, we're going to stay on the quarterback front with Denny for one more segment. And I kind of wanted to work towards a couple of things coming out of recruiting because, like, you had said something earlier, and you and Matt were talking about it. You know, the recruit kind of gets hurt by what the school decides to do via transfer portal. But where does the leverage come back to the players? It just simply, like you guys said, it's got to be Bryce Underwood. It's got to be one of the top. Because I'm looking at some of these guys. This is off of Rivals, and it's called the Florida Spotlight. 5 quarterbacks on the rise. And one of them is from right here in good old Duval, over there at Mandarin, Knox Ennis. And he is a talented player, getting offers left and right. I think he went down to visit Miami this past week. So
yeah, that's my guy. No, that's Knox is my guy. I love that kid to death. He is, he's special. Mm-hmm. He's special. I think he's going to do huge things. He's got a huge engine. Played as a freshman this year when Trammell went down and played well.
He had to, and that's how he got showcased, right?
Yep. And then, I think Miami and Florida both offered him in the same day a couple weeks ago. He's got like North Carolina freshman, going to be a sophomore. And then I know he was Gainesville Saturday, Miami last Thursday. Okay. Very talented kid. As to what you're talking about, I think there's a couple of things. If we're talking about the money leverage, then you got to be like right situation, top 5 guy to get a ton of money out of high school. But then there's another thing that happens with this transfer portal that people get lost on is you sign with that school, you're there a year.
Okay.
The starter that was there, he's gone. You still haven't played in a game. You've just been there a year.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
this is the key right here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Now what do they do?
I know where he's going.
What do they do?
Well,
this coach has got $11 million
start looking for somebody else. Yeah.
They go to a portal.
Yeah.
They go find that guy in the portal. That guy comes and plays. You're there year 2.
Yeah.
He's done. You still haven't played. You still haven't gotten on the field. Where does this end?
This is the problem. Yeah.
It's a.
If you don't play your first year as a quarterback, you are in danger of literally in no man's land, right?
Unless your name is Arch, okay? Because he's right now. He's the
well,
only,
again, but that's the top 5. That's the
Right.
that's the
That's the elite,
exception.
yeah.
That's the exception.
But that's a vice grip to the shorts. That's just not right.
But at some point, you have to play these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can recruit them and you can develop them, but at some point, you have to put them in. You can't always go get the guy with experience.
And this, I'm glad you're telling the story because this is what.
I knew that's where you were going, by the way. I knew it.
Here's all right. I got good news. Guys are going to get paid for playing. Name, image, and likeness. This is all great. I got bad news for you. All you other guys that are just coming into the system are getting hosed left and right.
Yeah.
Left basically at the doorstep or in the dust.
Well, you just got to be better. You just got to be better than you've ever had to be. You've got to. It really is. You got to have that trigger, that switch.
Mm-hmm.
That takes so much advantage of opportunities when you get them.
Right.
Like you're not afforded mistakes. This is going to show up in the NFL over the next couple of years because guys aren't allowed to make mistakes and they're going to make mistakes. But you got to be so good at the opportunities that you come across that your main job when you get to that college is no longer playing. It's selling that staff that their future is there and they don't have to go in the portal and get it the next year.
Else, right.
That's your job as a young quarterback. And the only way you do that is in those very few reps that you get in scrimmages and in practices in the spring, because in the fall they don't come around very often.
Right.
You have to flash. And you have to be ready faster, quicker, better than you've ever been ready. So it's still out there. It's just a brutal way to make a living. All the parents that are thinking you got a 12-year-old that's going to make millions in college football, maybe you do. I hope you do. But it is a brutal way to make a living.
He better be one of one.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that's as close to getting as guarantees you can get. Because if it's not, you're in a situation right now where you've got coaches who are making 8, 10, 11, 12, 14 million a year. All they care about is now their contract and their family and taking care of themselves. Because if that wasn't the case, if Ryan Day is secure in his job, he's like, all right, I got Julian Sain. He's one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the class. We'll roll with him. We'll win 9 or 10
get him
games.
some reps.
Yeah, we'll get him some reps. And he couldn't do that. There's no way. He had to go get Will Howard. So he recruits over Julian Sain, who he just signed. He literally just signed him, recruits over him, puts him in there, and wins a national title.
Yeah, he just lured him from Alabama.
Yeah.
And probably told him, hey, you come up here. You got a chance to play right away. Well, chance is a word you can throw around left and right. And it turns out he had a chance, but he wasn't going to.
Pay attention this spring to who guys are signing or which guys are signing guys.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be surprised. I think you're going to be surprised at some of the colleges that go out and spend a little bit of money on a portal quarterback in the spring.
Well, Ty Simpson as an example. Are they set in Tuscaloosa that they came out of the saying Ty Simpson's
I mean,
they're
they're
Ty Simpson's been there for 3.
A 5-star kid. Remember, here's another one for you. Remember Walker Howard?
Yeah.
5-star kid went to LSU. He's on his 3rd team now.
Yeah. How many years has Ty been up there? It seems like 3 years at least, right?
This is 4, I think, for him.
Yeah,
there's a ton of them. You got Dante Moore at Oregon.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of really talented young kids that if they're given the keys, maybe they'll make some mistakes, but they're going to learn and they're going to be very, very good football players.
Right.
But it's just a matter of having somebody give them the keys.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Having
Days
that
of
security.
A.J. McCarron getting in there and throwing the ball around, it's not happening, man. It's just not.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I mean, I think the only one you can look at, Bryce has got a chance. I've heard amazing things about him. He is an absolute stud at Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I mean, if you're a freshman, you want to play, but gosh, do I want to be out there unless I'm ready now? Because I can get typecast as done.
Right. Yeah. Let's just remind everybody of Bryce Underwood. If you're watching on YouTube or you're listening or whatever, a lot of you probably know exactly what we're talking about, but many others may not. Bryce Underwood was an LSU commit. And Brian Kelly was going to bring in another gem of a prospect at that position that he had just coached Jaden Daniels up to winning a Heisman with. Garrett Nussmeier looks pretty good. Anyway, Nussmeier's having a decent season, and Michigan comes out because Michigan's having a crappy year at the quarterback position after winning a natty. and Dave Portnoy decides to put on social media, hey, I'd be willing to put $1 million in a player's pocket to get a good quarterback up at Michigan. And that's really all it took. Then he brought the Oracle guy in. And the next thing you know, you're talking millions of dollars. And Bryce Underwood just went from a lock at LSU to I'm going up there. And it's just crazy.
It really is. It really is. And I'm not, listen, nobody's feeling sorry for these guys, and I'm not telling you to feel sorry for them. I'm just explaining what the reality of college athletics is. I'm doing a new podcast with the preacher of my church, and Peyton Thorne was on, and he said it best. He's like, this is professional football.
Yep. Yeah.
Just call it what it is. It is professional football, and it's harder than it's ever been.
And you can't even call it semi-pro. It's professional football.
Professional football.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a level lower, but it's still pro ball.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of eyes that get opened in professional football. You know?
Oh, yeah.
At every position, but specifically in college football, at the quarterback position. It's because these guys, and Denny knows this as well, these are the guys that throughout their entire young football career, they are put on a pedestal. And they think everything's going to be given to them when they get to that college level. And, man, if you are not the 1% of the 1%,
right,
you got a problem.
We had a kid commit last week to Texas Tech. Congratulations, Stephen Cannon, by the way. Out of Savannah, same school that Luke Cromenhawk and Holden Garner came out of. And I told his parents he's going to be a senior. I'm like, all right, now that that's done, the best piece of advice I can give you guys is enjoy. Have fun this last year of high school football, because next January it all changes.
Yeah.
The whole thing changes.
Yeah.
And again, it's not bad. It just is what it is.
But you're in a spin cycle. You really are, because things were just kind of straight line for a long time. It was all good. And you were a BMOC and all that. And now it becomes a spin cycle.
No
You're like,
question.
where am I at? What do I need to do? Who's pulling and prodding? Am I here to stay, or am I going to be the next guy? It's just, it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, you're 18 years old going through that.
Right,
19 years old going through that. I love it. Again, I don't want to say that you should feel sorry for any of these guys. It makes them grow up very quickly. They live a public life. They get paid a lot of money. Nothing to feel sorry about.
Right.
But it is, if you've got a kid at home who's 18, 19, 20 years old, just look at your son and think, all right, that's these guys' ages.
Yeah.
That 110,000 people are coming to see, and they're handing $2 and $3 million to, and everybody's watching. It's just got to grow up quick.
And we just saw it coming out of like we mentioned, the transfer portal while March Madness is going on. And now guys like Toppin or whomever is going to come back, because they're going to get $4 million a year, which is just insane. By the way, you're going to Starkville, Cromenhawk.
Yeah.
Luke, just tell everybody he was in Tallahassee.
Yeah. Former Florida State. He's at Mississippi State now, transfer portal guy, working hard. They're in the middle of a competition. Another good quarterback there, Blake Shapen, who was the starter there last year until he got hurt. He spins it, man. So I love what Jeff Lebby's doing out there. I've always been a big Jeff Lebby fan. And so, I mean, that schedule, though, is just brutal. They've got to have one of the hardest schedules in the country next year. You pull that thing up, it's nasty.
Yeah.
It's the SEC slate plus Arizona State.
Okay. All right. We got to look at that bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without Cam, though. Without Scattaboo.
Well, he's turning pro. He's going to property of the Jacksonville Jaguars by the time we get to Friday night. Maybe Saturday. Could he be a third rounder? He could be. Scattaboo could be a third rounder. Yeah,
No
easily.
question.
All right, Denny, say goodbye on this. The Masters will do about $70 million in merchandise sales this past week alone. Now, remember, they keep it open for about 3 weeks, includes now the Women's Am, and the place, Augusta National, is packed, because that's the chance for people who can't get tickets to Augusta to go see the Women's Am, which is a great event, and still get to the pro shop.
And that's this week?
Yeah, that was the week before, leading into the Masters. So if you did $70 million in 1 week, $10 million a day, $1 million an hour, $16,000 a minute, $277 every second.
Good for them.
Yeah, you got to love it. That's kind of the rate that Denny charges with his quarterback. Right. All right, you're the man. We'll talk to you later. Denny Thompson, we will keep it going back. We'll stay on spring football. We got to work some draft talk in, and then back to Augusta. It's XL Primetime.
Hayes Carline.
Are you sure?
Interesting name.
And?
Interesting guy.
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
A person of interest.
What is it about the wrong kind of man?
Afternoons on 1010XL.
Yo, it's your boy E to the T here.
And I know that getting into an accident is stressful, but getting the proper care doesn't have to be. That's why I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. Even if you're at fault, your insurance covers you. And remember, you have the right to choose your own doctor. Even a minor accident can cause whiplash for years if it goes untreated. So don't wait. Call the auto accident experts at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Your recovery starts today.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
To get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it," and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Universal Roof and Contracting protects your home and your wallet. Invest in a stronger roof and save big. Right now, get 15% off roof replacement and repairs. Financing's available with monthly payments as low as $115. But this deal ends April 30th. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
She's seen and heard all over 1010XL's video and social channels.
Whether the big cats are at the bank or on the road, I'm there too. Follow my updates all season long, on air and online.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
When the unexpected happens, you shouldn't have to face it alone. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we're here to fight for you. Whether it's an auto accident or a slip and fall, our Jacksonville team takes care of every detail, from investigating the incident to securing multi-million-dollar verdicts, so you can focus on getting better. And remember, you don't pay a dime unless we win your case. Our commitment is 24/7, bringing you the real support from real people who really care. Campione Law, your dedicated partners in justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town, setting the standard in our hometown. Quality service, the best around. Coolidge is the cat that cares about your heating and about your air. Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Out with the old, in with the organized. Mia here for my friends at Closets by Design. Freshen up your home this spring with a custom organization solution. For a limited time, take advantage of our spring special and enjoy exclusive savings on closets, garages, home offices, and more. That's 40% off with an additional 50% off with 12-month special financing through April. Spring on this deal before it's gone. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation with Closets by Design.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast orthopedic specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast orthopedic specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast orthopedic specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast orthopedic specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mondays on XL Primetime, brought to you by Mokama. Check out their great craft in the tap room at Fernandina Beach.
Love heading up to the beautiful tap room. You can do it anytime you're visiting Fernandina. Y'all up there in Nassau County know. And I could be talking to.
We got to get out there, by the way.
Yeah, there's just so many good people up there. Fast Eddie, AI, Al. There are just so many of them that are up there and hang out and always have a good time. And you can find where they're proudly serving some delicious Mokama as well all over the First Coast. And like you said, pick it up. But you look for their Wildlight location and look for them right there on South 8th Street. All right, we're talking what's happening with spring football, what's happening with player movement, what's happening with really a lot of things that the college sports world has to navigate, not just football, sports world has to navigate with upcoming legislation. They still haven't ruled, have they, on the House settlement?
No.
It's got its own name now. All you have to do is say House settlement and people
not officially
in sports know what you're talking about.
There's all kind of stuff going on right now. There's roster limitations, and she's got a lot of questions, Claudia Wilka, the judge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's going to get done,
right?
But there's going to be some tweaking to it.
Yeah. So off the text line, 641-1010, you can hit the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Like we said, I am happy for the opportunity that any of these kids get to rake and put some money in their own bank instead of making bank for universities, for coaches, for, I don't know, apparel companies, shoe companies, television, whatever, because a lot has been made off of their backs. And the texters, like, let's remember, we have 18-year-olds in the military defending our country and risking their lives. I totally get it. I'm not going to say they shouldn't get it. It's just all you have to do is just kind of play within the rules. And using the military as an example, there are rules and regs everywhere. And there's rank and file. There's levels of command and all that stuff that you have to fall in line with.
Yeah, but there's also
none of that is
coercion and collusion in the military too.
Maybe, but I
and it's not that way in college sports. That's the difference. The military can tell you what to do.
Yeah,
that's not how it works.
Right,
and
but
look,
it's a totally different animal.
And it's not like that with any other job.
Right.
Right.
Totally
right.
Animal.
But it's the thing is they put themselves in this situation because of the way for so many decades the way they ran it, and then in 2021 they literally just threw open the barn doors and said, "All right, go do what you got to do." When you like immediately institute NIL, allowing them to earn off their name, image, and likeness with no regulations at all, and then you add on top of that free player movement, what do they expect?
Yeah.
Of course, this is what the end result is. Of course it is. So they've got no one to blame but themselves.
Yeah. And it's helping. And I think let's make this the 10-10 take, because this is the part that honestly, all right, let's just hit it.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmaster since 68.
Smoking it slow, serving it fast. It's kind of an ingredient to their success, and they've been doing it for a long time. So drop on by any one of your area Sundays. All those delicious sides, some delicious baked beans, barbecue beans, some of those fries stacked up right next to a plate of ribs. Definitely check out one of your local Sundays. So I understand where people are coming from, and this is the thing that I worry about more than anything else, is that this is becoming now not good for the majority, but very, very good for the minority. And everyone in some way, shape, or form is going to get something out of NIL But now more doors are being slammed in the face of a lot of individuals and kicked open for a handful of individuals. And there's some tough situations that young players are finding themselves in, forced into a transfer portal with no real place to go, not knowing what their future is. Meanwhile, the stars of the game, which are always going to win because they're the stars of the game, are the ones that are profiting the most. That's the 10-10 take. And that's it, Matt. It really does suck for a majority of them compared to the ones at the top that are cashing in again.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but essentially what the transfer portal does is just create movement. It creates movement.
Yeah.
And this is a bad way to say it, but it's the reality of the situation. It's a filter. It filters out the good players from the not so good players.
But
that's what it does.
Okay, but I'm going to ask a dumb question. Before this happened, you had good players, you had great players, you had good players, you had above average players, you had average players, you had below average, you had all of them.
Yeah.
They all coexisted because you had to put a team together. You had to have 85 scholarship players. There was high level, medium, and low level that.
Right,
that
but
made up
there
part
also
of your team.
guys got ran off back in the day too
Yes,
because they couldn't play.
Yeah, and they were left with nothing.
This is just a quicker version of that, is what it is. And it's look, it also can be. You can also do this now that we're in the age of these guys are getting paid. Okay, now it's okay to say, you know what, you got to play better.
Yeah,
you want to stay on a team, you want to transfer to another team or have a home when you transfer. Then you got to be a better player. And if you're not, then you go down to FCS or you go down to Division 2 or 3 and you take your chances there. So it's honestly, that's what this has become. The portal has become like this giant filter, and it's filtering the good players from the not so good players.
Yeah, and I know that it is going down a road that you can't throw it in reverse.
No, you can't. That door's long open, and
yeah, you can't turn back time. And as much as I can probably fall into a pile of purists and say, hey, this isn't the way it should be. But I also could throw myself into a pile that says, you know what? You got to come along with the times. They are a-changing.
Right. That's what, we say it isn't the way it should be because that's what we knew back then.
Right.
That doesn't mean it's right. That doesn't mean how it played out was right. And JJ and I have this argument all along, and I understand his thoughts on it, that it was better then, and I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's what it's going to be.
Yeah. And another texter, make them employees. All D1 athletes get set them out according to sport revenue. And Matt says this
Never
more
happened.
more often than we do because he's understanding the inner workings of it. Universities don't want that. It's not necessarily the player that doesn't want to become an
the players
employee.
want that badly.
Yeah.
That's it's. And I shouldn't say never happen because it's going to happen eventually because you can't. It's like a tidal wave. You can't stop it. It's the only way to control what's going on right now. The problem with the universities right now is they don't want to give up 50%. The NFL gives up, 49 point
40,
whatever?
Yeah. And
49.4 or whatever it is.
And universities should never have to give up that amount because it's an entirely different model.
But if they do get to that point to where they are employees and they do collectively bargain, guess what? They're going to give up that amount. And that's what they're trying to avoid. Come hell or high water, that's what they are trying to avoid.
Yeah, I still fight you on this one. How in the world would they have to give up that much?
Because the players will just they'll strike. Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, but they're running something that's much larger that they have to pay for. A team like an NFL franchise or a Major League Baseball team, they have a business to run. They have all the employees inside their organization, and then they have their paid athletes.
Right.
But in a university situation, they've got countless other sports that they're having to pay for. The not-for-profit.
Right, but when
portion.
That's
a lot
when
of
they
money.
Unionize, it's going to be football will be separate from everything else.
Maybe. You don't think football and basketball?
No, I think football will be separate from everything at that point.
Maybe.
From everything.
If that's the case, I can't see basketball's still profitable.
No, it is. There's no doubt it is.
So why wouldn't it be?
I'm not saying that basketball wouldn't be separate as well. I'm just saying football will 100% will be separate if they ever get to the point where they collectively bargain. Because it's too unwieldy at that point. If you start having multiple sports with God knows how many players, right? With how many schools,
right?
It gets way too unwieldy. So I would think it's going to be just football, just basketball, and they'll have separate deals.
All right, so you guys jump in 641-1010. You can stay on that topic. We need to get back to Augusta, need to get a little draft worked in before this day is done. How special was it yesterday if you were a golf fan watching what happened with Rory McIlroy winning Augusta, a green jacket, the Masters for the first time in his career, completing the Grand Slam? What's crazy is that when you take a look at the individuals that have won the Grand Slam, and we're talking well over a century of golf that has been played, you have one individual that won the Grand Slam, which is all 4 majors, in the 30s, another in the 50s, 2 in the 60s, and then 2 in the 21st century. Just think about how much golf has been played in the big gaps in time.
Right.
From the 30s to the 50s, then 2 in the 60s, and then 2 in the 21st century with Tiger and Rory. It's stunning what Rory's been able to do. And the question was asked by Peter Bregan Jr. He texted me. He goes, he believes that he's got a shot at maybe completing the in-calendar Grand Slam. So let's touch on that coming up here in just a second on XL Primetime.
When you want breaking sports news, tune in to 1010XL.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Or any of our social channels at 1010XL.
Satisfied?
Frank Frangie here. Available now is the all-new Silverado EV. Designed to go the distance, the Silverado EV boasts 440 miles of range, more standard range than any competitor. Ask about low-rate financing and $7,500 instant cash savings on EVs. Nimnik always will give you top dollar for your trade, and for a limited time, up to an additional $3,000 in trade assistance. So head to Nimnik today. Who's got more new Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnik. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging? Spring is here, a time to renew. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist, here to help you look and feel your best with minimal to no downtime. Rejuvenate your skin, strengthen your core, and sculpt your body with advanced face and body treatments designed to restore your youthful glow and confidence. Just in time for spring and summer. A healthier, more fit you starts now. Visit dermagnify.com and step into spring looking and feeling your best.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. South State has helped our businesses and charity grow and thrive. Whether you're expanding your operations, managing cash flow, or planning for the future, South State Bank offers forward-thinking, tailored solutions to meet your unique business needs. With expert guidance and best-in-class service, South State is here to help you move your business forward. Visit southstatebank.com or stop by your local branch today. Let South State become your partner in taking your business to the next level. That's South State Bank, member FDIC.
Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. At Terminix, we know how to stop termites. These destructive pests have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so do we. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem? Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue. Bono's has been serving Jacksonville's best barbecue for over 75 years. And now, catch this. Bono's new limited time offer features an Atlantic fried cod platter with 2 pieces of mouth-watering fried cod and 1 southern side for $15.49, or a fried cod sandwich with 1 southern side for $12.99. You can't beat that deal. And after 1 bite, you'll be hooked. So you better hurry in. The fried cod platter right now at Bono's. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Enhance your home with Renewal by Anderson's superior craftsmanship and timeless design. Right now, get $300 off all windows or $825 off patio doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months, but this offer expires April 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
A chipped windshield can turn into a big problem fast. Lauren Brooks here. Trust Novus Glass of Jacksonville for expert repair and replacement. Call 904-289-2905 for Novus Glass in Orange Park. 904-289-2905.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit DreamFindersHomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to DreamFindersHomes.com for more details.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. There was a time when if you handed me a bread basket at a restaurant, you better watch your fingers. Pizza, pasta, bread, carbs were absolutely my weakness. I'd be lying if I said they didn't have me hooked. Then Awaken 180 came into my life. I've been down every diet road there is, but this is different. It's not just another diet. It's a total reset of how you see food. You know that carb craving that we all accepted as normal? That's gone for me now. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy the good stuff, but here's the difference. I no longer feel like I need them. So when the server puts that bread basket on the table, I just smile, sit back, and say, nah, I'm good. That feeling of control is all thanks to Awaken 180. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180. Hacker lost more than 110. Baloo is on his way, and you can lose whatever you want to lose. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. Awaken 180 has changed my life, and it will change yours too. Give them a call at 844-346-1800 or go to awaken180weightloss.com. Trust me, you'll thank yourself.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer. If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right. My takeaway is it's what college football is now. It's what college sports is now. We can argue about it. We can complain about it. We can bitch and moan about it. But at the end of the day, you just got to find the solve. Find the solve. And I think right now, until they get to the point where they give in and say, okay, we have to make these guys employees, the best solve is the buyout. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be interesting to see what the move is, because I think this kind of rattled college sports a little bit. I think it rattled everybody from coaches that I text with over the weekend and athletic directors. I think everybody's a little rattled by this. Yeah. So I think it's kind of a, we always say, is it an inflection point? It could be. It certainly could be. But you've got to get everybody on the same page. If you've got 5 or 6 or 7 rogue schools that have a lot of money, I'm looking at you, Texas A&M, that don't want to get in on the deal and don't want to have buyouts, if they're like, well, we don't care, we'll just pay whatever costs.
Right.
If you get guys like that, then you're not going to have that. Look, I kind of look at it as a caution signal. If somebody wants to go, you're not going to prevent them one way or the other.
Sure.
They will go. But at the very least, you give a pause, a caution signal of, well, who's going to pay the buyout? How much am I going to have to pay that buyout, right? Will that buyout then affect my next deal? Mm-hmm. So at the very least, you're giving them questions to think about before they think, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah. I think my takeaway is that you really haven't seen too many players regret decisions. And I don't know whether Nico will regret this or not. But if he does, and he kind of just goes up in a football ball of flames, he may be that inflection point you're talking about, where people will remember. But for every Nico that's out there, there's still going to be a bunch of other guys that are still going to be able to move. There's still going to be someone there to offer him more money. And
always.
Yeah. And I feel for every fan out there that doesn't love it the way it is right now, but it is. I hate even using the classic line that we all seem to use whenever we have nothing else to say. It is what it is. We better figure out a way to deal with it. But the only way this is going to be successful for the player, the school, and the fan, I believe, is that you have to have at a minimum 2-year contracts with buyback, with something on skin in the game on both sides, not just a little, but a lot. And you might be able to work off of annual contracts, and it might work. But I think it would be better for all, schools included, fans included, if you had 2-year deals. That way you can have a player, enjoy the player can enjoy the surroundings.
I mean, he had a 4-year deal at Tennessee.
Oh, I know.
But there was no buyout.
Right.
There was nothing that was keeping him there. There was no clause in there that kept him there or else. There was no or else clause. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so here's the thing with Nico, too, and I think this is the reality of the situation as well. This will affect his NFL prospects, I guess is the best way to say it. He's not an elite thrower. He's not an elite guy.
Right.
Okay? Unless all of a sudden he goes to USC and it just has a giant year and he becomes one of those Lincoln Riley, Heisman finalist guys because he's in that offense and he puts up huge numbers and you finally see what he can be. Mm-hmm. Because if you're an NFL franchise, do you want a guy like this? Do you want a guy who it's not that, okay, here's the thing too. It's not that he's leaving or that he wants more money. It's that it's when he did it and how he did it. It's he knew he had leverage. Right. He knew that the transfer portal was coming up in a matter of days. He knew Tennessee had no choice other than to sign him until Tennessee finally said, you know what? No, bump that. We're out.
This conversation started 4 months ago. So that really in and of itself, it's
allegedly.
Allegedly. That's fine. But it allegedly started in January. We need a bump, said the representation. And if it did string along for that long, this is not a guy that made a rash decision, and he might be able to explain he made a rash decision.
Again, allegedly, yes.
Again, and get somebody to buy it. But what you're saying is true.
But still, at the end of the day, though, he still got to the point where he walked away 3 days before the transfer portal.
That's what I mean. Is it like whether you can prove this conversation?
Like we don't know if the negotiations were in good faith. We don't know if it was good faith negotiations.
Okay.
It could have been going back and forth, and they tried to do something, and he kept saying no, or he tried something, and they kept saying no. We have no idea what was going on. But at the end of the day, he used that specific leverage he had. Yeah. That's my point with NFL teams. They're not going to be happy.
They're not going to like it at all. Where does he move in the transfer portal? I'm just looking right now at CBS Sports HQ, and they prop him up. They push him to the top as the most attractive portal player out
right
there.
now. Yeah, I would think that.
They've got Julian Neal, cornerback out of Stanford, Joe Cotton, a tackle out of South Dakota, players from Missouri, Georgia, Washington. Jaden Rashad is listed there. Is he at the top?
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be.
Yeah, well,
went to the playoffs last year.
Because the portal hasn't opened. When the portal opens on the 16th,
all right.
then I think you might see some different.
Right.
There might be some. Look, here's another thing, too, is the players know this is going to be the last year where they can get as much as they can get. Because then you're going to get the actual NIL through the school.
Yeah.
And you can get the private NIL deals, but those are going to be fewer and far between than they are now.
Mm-hmm.
So they all know this is it. This is when they can get their money.
They got to capitalize.
Before the House case gets settled, this is when they got to capitalize. So would I be shocked if you saw a couple other very strange portal entries in the next couple days? I would not be shocked at all.
Okay, I got to get back to the Rory question, but I just want to give you some of these odds that are out there, where he lands, and if he is considered the top player in the portal right now, and then you wait a couple days and see who else comes in. Betting odds right now are 2-1. UCLA lands Nico. The next best betting favorite is North Carolina, plus 250. USC, Texas Tech, Colorado, and Arizona State.
If you're betting on where
Arizona
a kid
State.
in the portal is going, you need to look at yourself long and hard in the mirror.
I do like plus 250 with North Carolina.
I love those odds.
Levis one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Why would he go to Arizona State? No.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, Arizona State went to the playoff last year.
No, they have
a great young coach.
And a great young quarterback. Yeah. That's kind of my point.
Oh, Levitt is?
Yeah. So
what's so funny is apparently everyone wants to get the next guy just in case that guy doesn't.
True.
Doesn't
what if Levitt goes to the portal and goes to Tennessee?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's what I was saying with USC. Like USC and Tennessee should literally just swap quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They'll take Jaden Mayava from USC and they'll take Yamilava.
Jeez.
It'll be like the Samoan swap.
That is what they have taken over football.
I do like the Samoan swap. They are.
It's I think he's going to end up at North Carolina. That's my guess because what North Carolina has a quarterback right now is not good.
And he gets to stay in a geographic region that he likes.
Yeah.
And so there's something to
I mean,
that.
as far as we know.
Yeah. And by the way, I guess the youngster has to pay taxes out in California. So that's always something to think about as well.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, North Carolina's spending money right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And they've been guaranteed a $10 million salary for Bill Belichick. What is it? $8 million for the assistants? Something like that. Does that sound right?
It's 10, I think.
Is it maybe another
10
10?
for Belly, and I think it's 10 for the assistants too.
And then the NIL.
And then the NIL is 20.
Right.
So they're spending like Ohio State money.
Chapel Hill. I think you guys know they do have a lot of money up there.
I will tell you this: if you're Nico, that's probably a smart move because you're going to a program that's with a former legend NFL coach, right?
Yeah.
And if you need somebody to kind of grease the tracks for you into the NFL,
yeah,
that's your guy, man.
And there's not expectation level wise, it's not over the top.
Right.
It really isn't unreasonable. Belly's coming in there having never coached at this level in the college game ever.
Right. It would be more about Belly than about Nico.
Yeah. Spotlight on the hoodie.
That's a great point.
And an 8-4 up there first year isn't terrible. And then Nico would be gone.
Yeah.
8-4, whatever it is, 9-3
would be gone, and then Belly could tell all the NFL teams, no, he's misunderstood. It's he's not that kind of guy.
Sure, yeah, and he could sell that pitch.
Yeah.
To
100%. Yeah, I'll take care of you in the NFL. Don't worry about it. Because right now, because I would even tell him that if I was Belichick, I'd say, look, you're going to have problems with NFL people, but I can take care of it for you.
You really think NFL people will care about any of this stuff?
I do. Yeah, I do.
I think the way he handled that situation might pop up.
Just because of the timing of the situation, I think some will be certainly turned off by it.
And when they get to that combine setting where they get to interview them and put the screws to them a little bit, that's going to be one of their main questions.
Right.
It may not.
I mean,
greatly
we
influence
just see
them.
NFL guys draft criminals like all of it,
Totally.
like actual bad guys.
I totally agree. But what he did at Tennessee was almost like Jalen Ramsey in the back injury. Very similar.
Yeah. And it didn't stop LA from going, we'll give you two.
No, and they won a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah,
So
and come on over here. Yeah. All right, so let's get to the Rory talk. Can he win golf's 4 majors in one calendar year? The Tiger Slam is like the likes of stuff we've never seen.
You have to explain this because you told JJ and I this in the break, and it's just phenomenal.
The Tiger Slam, him completing the Tiger Woods able to hold all 4 trophies at once, even though it was not in the calendar year, is still one of the most impressive things in sport. And you can't go back in time and find anybody else that held those trophies and the Players' Championship.
Thank you.
Okay, he held the Waterford Crystal when that's what the trophy was. And he won 5 of the biggest tournaments on the planet. Boom, 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 boom. Held all those trophies. And I'll never forget Mike Bianchi going into Isleworth and knocking on Tiger's door. Can I take a picture of your mantle, Tiger? And just it's worth mentioning that not only did Tiger complete the Tiger Slam with 4 major championship trophies, but he won the Players too. That's against the strongest field in golf, and he had them all.
Do you know the sequence of it? Like they weren't in a row. Like it wasn't like the last 2 and then the next 2. It was
he basically went He went Players, U.S. Open, British Open, PGA, Augusta.
Okay. So Augusta was the next year.
Yeah.
No.
I'm almost positive that's what it was.
Okay, so
it's 2000 and 2001.
Let's see.
So let me make sure I have that right.
Yeah, it was 2000, 2001.
And so
3 of the 4, and then the Masters in the
2001 Masters after winning the year's final 3 majors in 2000.
Where did he finish the Masters in 2000?
I can't remember.
You should know this. You're the golf expert.
Well, believe me, I know a little. I don't know a lot. But VJ
won.
Yeah, VJ, because they exchanged jackets back and forth.
Okay, so Tiger finished 5th.
5th? Okay.
6 shots back.
And so the only guy that I thought was capable since Tiger of getting on that same type of run was Jordan Spieth. And it was when he won and he ran away with the win at Augusta and threatened Tiger's all-time scoring record.
Right.
And at one point had the number, but then did not finish with that 20 under total. And so it was just uber impressive. And then he could putt lights out at that point. And his distance wasn't penalizing back then.
Right.
we all know what's happened to him. He's nothing like he was. But Rory, at this age, with this game, power off the tee, iron play like a mother, and now Faxon has fixed up his putting, he does look like he is as capable as anybody of winning all four. You guys mentioned Scotty before.
Scotty last year, after he won the Players and Masters, I was like, this guy can run through everything.
Right. And I probably felt that way with him as well, but I don't know. I feel like,
man, the putting.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Golly.
Yeah, and the one thing that's different between Scotty and Rory is Scotty doesn't do dumb things to himself on the golf course. Rory does.
Right.
You know, Rory fills it every once in a while and makes a Mickelson mistake, but he made up for it. 4 doubles, and he still made up for it. Kind of like this guy.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
The Embedded and Shredded does tell a story back in the day where he did have 4 doubles, all brown, and a green jacket at the end of the night.
It was a great night. I didn't win anything, but had a lot of fun.
How impressive was that?
Oh, it was unbelievable. I mean, how lucky did he get on, I think it was 11. I thought that ball was getting wet. I mean, the whole time. I mean, I was watching him on Thursday when he, Cantlay was the first one to put 2 in the water on 15.
15, yeah.
And then Rory was behind the green and did the same thing. And I just, as I saw it rolling, my mind immediately went back to that. And I was like, and we're now 3 days later. Yeah. So it's probably even drier. I was shocked that ball held up.
Yeah.
You know, but it was a great win. That's what you need. You need obviously the rub of the greens in golf, and Rory took advantage. And yeah, it was fantastic. It's, you know, one of my favorite Masters of all time, and you know, it'll be exciting to see what happens. He owns Quail Hollow, so he could definitely win the PGA.
Yep.
Oakmont is going to be sort of, you know, obviously it's going to favor the Bomber, so he's going to be one of just a handful of guys that can probably win.
Right. That's a separators golf course because of the power.
And then they go to Royal Portrush, where Shane Lowry won the Open last time it was played there.
Won't he be a popular figure there?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, it sets up well for Rory to really make a charge at it. But I have to think that Scotty Scheffler will have one of these weeks this year where he just does 4 days of ridiculous golf and wins. So
and
I don't think we're going to see like a grand slam, but it doesn't matter. If you're Rory McIlroy, I mean, heck, I wouldn't be sober until Christmas. I mean, you just won the Masters. You won the career Grand Slam. You've already won $13 million this year on tour. I mean, you've won a Players. His year is made. Yeah. I mean, so he's won 3 times, but the big one is getting the Masters. And I thought it was really cool that, you know, he talked about how nervous he was. And, you know, it showed up, but he was able to combat it enough to get the win. So we'll certainly talk about all that coming up on the Frangie Show, and we'll get into some Jags, Gators. It's the first time that we've all been together for a couple of weeks, so we've got a lot to catch up on.
The Eagles?
Oh, they were great. Yeah, I would recommend going to the Sphere for anybody that you know would have an interest. You could obviously, it's in Las Vegas, but it's a marvel. I mean, it's unlike anything I've ever seen.
How long was the show?
But they played for probably about 90 minutes.
Nice.
It was like 20 songs. Not a lot of talking. Henley was great. He started off the concert. They played Hotel California first, and then he said, you know, welcome to the Sphere. We're delighted to be here. At this stage of the game, we're delighted to be pretty much anywhere. So we're not going to do a lot of talking and jumping around, but we hope you enjoy the show. And he talked about there's 168,000 speakers in the Sphere. At least that's what Henley said on stage. He was like, we really have enjoyed this venue. We probably wouldn't have done this residency if it wasn't for how superior the sound system is. And it was fantastic. So yeah, I would recommend anybody go, but if you go, sit, you know, like third level, because if you're too close, you're not going to see all the graphics. So,
nice.
Yeah, but it was fantastic. We had a great time.
Sounds good, bro.
Thank you, guys.
Glad you enjoyed it. All right, Hayes, French, JJ, they all got it coming up. Quick thanks to Mokama Beer Company. Just log on Mokama.com, see their story, see how you can pick up some of their delicious craft, or head to their tap room in Fernandina or the Wildlight location. Matty Hayes, Joe C., JJ. We'll have Big Search back mañana along with Coach Campo.
Warner to throw.